Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Jerry and the Raw number 44. Is that what I said? 44?
Yeah.
So, today has been an interesting day. Oh, no, yeah, I'm tired too.
Sorry.
Because I don't want to go to sleep. Um, Anyways, today has been an interesting day. If you guys have been watching my Twitter, you probably know what's going on. Today I went in to the doctor because my wonderful wife here. Well, you guys, we call you by your name over here, right? Like they know who you are, don't
Yeah,
they?
so yeah.
Felicia,
Yeah.
Felicia. Yeah, we don't say it like everywhere. We call her Miss Barnacules usually, but I figure this is a little bit more personal, so I call her Mama Girl because I don't know, like I'm
You
not
can't call me mother,
I
so.
can't call her mother, so like the old people do, like mother. Like my grandpa used to call my grandma mother, and I was like, yeah,
And
she
I
wouldn't go for
squashed
that.
that way before we had
Yeah,
children.
yeah, she's a little too modern for that, so we settled on Mama, with little Mama when we had Xander. But anyways, today I woke up and luckily this woman here had enough of my bitching about my arm that she pretty much forced me to go to the doctor, and she set up an appointment. You got me in today, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I went into my doctor about my arm. You guys probably you can't really see with the lighting and everything, but it's really swollen. It's actually doing a lot better now, but it's really swollen. It's all bruised up. I haven't been able to make a fist for like the last 6 or 7 days, and it's been getting progressively worse and moving up into here. Well, she finally made me go to the doctor. I went into my general physician, really cool guy, and he came in, and you know my doctor, he's super chill guy, and he's usually super upbeat. And he came in, he looked at my arm, and he goes, "Okay, it looks he said it doesn't look like an infection, but it looks bigger." And he's like, "It's not hot, so it looks like it's a blood flow issue or something like that." So he takes out his little measuring tape and he measures my, I don't know, what's a forearm? Is that what they call that, forearm?
Yeah, you call it. Well, it was like
Was it
right
like,
here. This is the
yeah,
area he like measured
from the
all the way to eight
bone down?
inches, and
Yeah.
then he like went around.
So he measured my arm, and he came to the conclusion that one arm is much bigger than the other arm.
Three
Like
centimeters, I
we're,
believe he
we're
said.
not talking like right arm masturbator slightly larger. It was huge. It was like, yeah, 4 to 6 centimeters or something bigger in that one spot, and it was even more bad. It was even worse like around the bicep. So he started getting worried. And my doctor doesn't get worried. I've gone to him for tons of shit. Like, even I went to him for a prostate infection where he stuck his finger up my butt and discovered that I had a bad infection up there on my prostate. So this is not a guy that's shaken very easily. Like, the dude can be upbeat. He looked at me worried. Like, he was
He moved
legitimate. He
fast.
moved fast, and he was worried, and that freaked me out because he's never done that. And I've been in his office for all kinds of shit I should have gone to the emergency room for. And he got really worried, and he's like, at this point it looks like a blood clot. He's like, we have to rule this out. He's like, we have to. He's like, there's nothing else you can do. You have to go in and get this done. And so we were like, well, should we just go to urgent care or whatever? And he's like, no, I'm gonna make a call and get you in like right now. So he called over to Evergreen Hospital. We love that hospital, by the way. They've saved Xander's life like countless times. He called over there, and they have a department there that does ultrasound, and he got me in there. And so, like an hour later, we're back at the ultrasound place, and we're getting ultrasound. And the lady who's like scanning up and down my arm, she says, "My arm looks okay." She's like, "Oh, this looks okay." I think that's what she said, right? She's
Yep.
like,
So far, so
she's like,
good.
"So far, so good. Everything looks good." I'm like, "Oh God, thank God." And so she starts going up into my shoulder, and she goes in through the collar of my shirt, and she starts, rooting around on the collarbone. Because I told her that I had, that was a sore area too, and it was there was a lot of bruising there. So she went up there and looked around, and she found something. And she's like, "I need to go get a colleague to come look at something." Like she said, "We need a second opinion." Like, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I need a second
Because it
opinion.
might be.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm not sure. It could be, I don't know, a pinched vein or whatever." She didn't say. She's just like, "Oh, I want to get a second opinion on this because this is a big deal." Like, if I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So she goes and gets her, somebody who's a little bit more experienced on the machine and everything, comes in and scans the area, and all she does is tell to her, she's like, "Yeah, I concur." She's like, you're right, that's what it is." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" She's like, "Well, it looks like you do actually have a blood clot up under your clavicle." Like, I think that's a clavicle. She pointed somewhere up here.
Yeah, it's the
It's
bone right
here.
here.
Point for illustrations, honey, on me. Where was it? Like right up in there
Right in
somewhere? Yeah,
here.
right in
Yeah.
there is about where she got it. So she's like, "You have a clot in there, and it's on the return artery going back to your heart. So it's like, it's not on the blood going into the arm, it's the blood coming out of the arm. And that's why my arm is all swollen, because my heart's having no problem getting blood into it. but it's cut off the blood flow coming back, so it's like trickling back. So everything's pooling in my arm. So she gets me an instant consult. So again, something that you normally you'd probably have to wait like freaking weeks to get in. She's like, no, I'm going to get you a consult right now. She went out and got the freaking nurse practitioner, and then the nurse practitioner went and got, I think he was the surgeon, right? He was the surgeon. So she goes and gets the surgeon. I'm shitting bricks at this point, guys. Like I'm scared shitless. I keep hearing blood clot thrown around, and that's a term that's like scary as hell. Every time you hear of a blood clot, you hear of, oh, it's going to break off and go into your heart or go into your brain or go into your lungs or something like that. And my friends that are very, very, knowledgeable of medical stuff all say the same thing about it. I'm like, oh God. So anyway, surgeon comes in. He's like, yeah, what I want to do is I want to run a catheter up inside of your arm and administer a drug locally to the clot to destroy it. And he's like, well, it's a 3-day procedure and you have to be in the ICU for all 3 days. And I'm like, oh shit. So he said, or the other option is I just be on blood thinners for 6 months and hopefully they dissolve the clot. And he even said with the surgery, he said it's not guaranteed. He said, even if I go do this 3-day surgery where they root around up in there, he said, sometimes it won't destroy it. But he said they will get more knowledge from it. They said, even if it doesn't destroy the clot, it'll tell them how damaged the vein is and give them a much better picture than the ultrasound did of like what's going on in there. So I'm probably going to do that procedure. We're calling tomorrow to see if and when we can get it booked and everything. And I already started the thinners. They said I had to start the thinners immediately. So I'm on, what's that stuff called?
Apixaban.
Apixaban. Some new medicine. It's like Eliquis Apixaban Eliquis is the name brand. Apixaban is the generic. But it's like a targeted blood thinner that you take twice a day, and they have me on a really high dose of it initially, and then next week I think I go into half a dose. And they said, but here's the thing that was nice is after everything was done and everybody scared the shit out of me, the surgeon came in. And he said, I asked him, I said, I'm scared. Is this life-threatening or whatever? And he goes, no, I don't think it's life-threatening. He kind of looked at me and kind of blew it off. Like, yeah, it's not, I don't think it's really life-threatening. But then again, I don't know if he can even tell me if it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for liability purposes. Like, if he tells me I'm going to die or something like that, and then I don't. Like, I don't know. Anyways, it felt weird.
He was go both ways then.
Yeah,
if he tells you don't, and
true,
then you go
true.
home tonight and you do.
He was didn't he seem like a weird dude though? Like, well, surgeons are weird dudes. They are. He just seemed like really kind of like meh, disconnected. Like, this is how I think.
That, of course, he has more knowledge.
Sure.
In this stuff, like of how they progress. It could be that like usually they don't dislodge right away. I mean, I guess in a freak accident, it could.
Well, he basically said he couldn't say 100%, but he's like, nah. He said I don't think it's life threatening. He's like, I don't think it's life threatening, but
you're
he
not
said
going to die. Is
but
what he said.
He said you're not going to die from this, but he said your arm is going to be is going to get uncomfortable and get worse, and you're going to lose a lot of use out of your hand, and you're going to be on this medication for like 6 months. I'm like, okay, well that I'm okay with. Like up until that point, I was shitting bricks. I was crying on the way to the hospital because I thought for sure, from the way my doctor was acting and the way shit was going, I thought I was dying. I thought, oops, I done fuckered up, didn't go to the doctor soon enough, and now I'm gonna die. So that put my mind at ease after that point. I'm like, even if I have to come in and do this 3-day operation, which fucking sucks, I can't move my arm for 3 days and I have to be in the ICU. Up to yeah, they said that some people, if the clot breaks up in 24 hours, they'll send me home, but they said that it can take up to 3 days. And so my right arm will be immobilized all 3 days, and I have to be in the intensive care unit so that they can monitor in case the blood clot, like while it's dissolving, like dislodges or moves or goes into my heart or my lungs. They have me right there. But he said that, that normally it should be an uneventful thing, is what he said. He said, yeah, if everything goes according to plan or whatever, it should be a completely uneventful thing. You're just going to be sitting there for a couple days. So I think that's what we're going to do, because if we do that procedure, then after that, we might follow up with blood thinners for a while, but I won't have to do it for the whole 6 months. So, anyways, it's been a fucked up day. Like, it's been a roller coaster, and it wore us both out. So, but the good news is it doesn't look like I'm going to die according to them. The blood thinners should, even if I don't do the surgery or we do the surgery and it's not successful, he's confident the blood thinners should improve the situation over the course of 6 months. However, he said that there are cases where the vein is so heavily damaged from the clot that I won't recover from it. And he said in that case, well, then it's just a pain management thing at that point. I just live my life with kind of a fucked up arm that doesn't work right. And that scares the shit out of me too, because that's my right arm. That's my go-to arm. That arm does things. And I'm going to have to like train my left arm to do things. Oh, well, that's
an adventure.
It's an adventure. Woo! Hey, Lefty, you're finally gonna get your shot to shine.
No more sleeping hand.
No more sleeping hand. But yeah, today was just a scary day. I'm glad. I'm a little afraid to go to sleep though, because this medicine they started me on. They said that there's no real side effects or
I couldn't
interactions.
find any.
No, they said like if you bump your head, the biggest thing is I can't do anything like physical. Like he said, don't be
No
riding bikes
racquetball.
and snowboarding and shit like that, because he said, yeah, if you fall off and bang your head or bang your knee or something, the anti clotting agent that from the thin blood could cause me to bleed internally, and like I could die from that. So then I'd create a whole new issue. So he's like, so basically, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. Even if I get the surgery, if it doesn't go off 100% without a hitch and work and everything, I'm probably going to be out of commission from doing cool shit for a while. And that bugs me. That really does bug me, but I think I'd rather live. I think living's the way to go. So
Yeah.
so I'm going to go ahead and go that route. And I think that's kind of.
Take care of yourself for a little while and then get back at it next year.
Yeah, but hey, I do have some good news though, and there is a little good news here, a little light at the end of the tunnel, and that is it just so happens this blood clot that I have isn't related in any way, shape, or form to my weight. So all you guys that were getting all excited about leaving a comment like, "Oh, Jerry, this is the thing that's finally going to turn your life around and show you that being obese is bad. No, you're going to finally get healthy and everything." Don't get me wrong, I want to get healthy. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying for fucking once, something happened to me that kills just as many of you skinny fuckers as it does us fat people.
That's what the surgeon
The
said.
surgeon came in and said, "I have found this in the fittest fucking triathlon stick." He called him. He's like stick bony people ever, and I found him in big dudes like you. He's like, I found him in 70-year-olds. I found him in 20-year-olds. He's like, this shit does not discriminate. They don't even know the full effect of how they form. They just know, because there's a bunch of ways it can happen.
This
But
is what's
yeah,
puzzling them is because he has a clot that's usually associated with people who are athletic.
yeah, that's what he
And
said. He said more athletic people get this.
yeah,
He's like, do you do anything? He's like, do you do anything like activities or like anything strenuous? And I was like, well, I don't know. I might get a little overzealous with my masturbation on occasion, but I didn't tell him that because I didn't know him that well. But but anyways, I'm like,
and I
dude,
don't think it's the same thing.
yeah, no, I'm yeah, it's clearly not long enough for me to get a full stroke on my arm. But anyways, whoop. My keyboard and my mouse is about all I use. I'm like, dude, I use my keyboard and my mouse, and I go around. Sometimes I carry shit from point A to point B, but it's like I wouldn't consider myself in any way, shape, or form
And
athletic.
nothing over your head
Yep.
for a long periods of time.
And
So
he said that usually the people that he sees this in are really active people, because normally he said the clots are found in the leg. That's what he was saying. He's like the clots are usually in the legs, not in the arms. Even all the literature that he showed me
but
was
the
like
ones
your
that
leg, your
happen
leg, your
up
leg.
here are
Yeah,
usually from people who do exercising
yeah,
and their job and where they put their hands up. So people who are playing baseball
yeah.
and throwing the ball, and obviously
You don't think I gave myself a blood clot punch in the wall when I got pissed off, do you?
maybe
I don't know. That's
maybe
about
that'll stop you.
that's the only thing I've done that's strenuous in a long time.
But
So,
that wasn't too long ago.
anyways, that's the only thing I can
Something to
think
think
of.
about.
And the other thing that they said too that can cause it is hormones. And I told them I was doing testosterone, and they're like, well, there is a link between testosterone increasing estrogen, and estrogen creates more clotting agent in your
And he has to
blood.
be off of it.
And so they said, nope, no more testosterone. So as of today, I don't get any more testosterone therapy. And they said forever. That's like not even a matter. They're just, no, you're done.
She said no.
Yeah, I even asked her. I was like, do I have to come off? No. She's like, just no, it's done. It's done right now. She's like, you were. The nurse looks at me
No more stabbing.
and she said, yep, no more testosterone. So I'm like, woo, no more needles. The testosterone helped with a lot of things. It helped with fatigue and stuff like that. So I'll have to like figure that out when that wears off and I go back to normal levels. But yeah,
Death
she's.
wish. Give us a call.
Yeah, but the way I figure it is maybe having the low testosterone that my body naturally has low is protecting me against the blood clots. So they don't really know though. It's
Yeah,
and they're not
They're not
even
even gonna know once they get in there.
no.
I mean, they're gonna know some things, but they're not gonna know how it came about.
Yeah.
They can't pinpoint why it happened.
No. All they know is that it's there. They're somewhat common too. Like he didn't make it sound like this is like some magical thing other than the fact that I'm not athletic and it happened in a place where I should be athletic. But these are fairly common, and he didn't seem to think that it's life threatening, even though you read online it's like, oh shit, blood clots can break up and go into your heart and shit. But he made it sound like, you know, where it is and the way it looks and everything like that, that it's not a crazy, crazy big deal. It's just more of a pain and discomfort thing over time and permanent damage. Like, they want to fix it as soon as humanly possible, because the longer it's in there, the more damage it will do to the vein, because it is damaging the vein. And he said it could be damaging the vein irreparably, and even when they go in there, the vein could already be fucked up. Even if the clot gets dissolved, the scar tissue or whatever, and the way the vein is, it's just done. And we asked him, like, what do you do? And he said, well, you know, technically they can do surgery to replace things, but this is where the fat people thing came in. He said, because you're a large gentleman, you're a little bit harder to work on, is what he said. And he said that, honestly, he doesn't suggest surgery to anybody because they've had shitty results with it, like with replacing and grafting the veins. He said they've had absolute shit results with it, and he doesn't recommend it to anybody. But he said, even if I decided to go the surgical route against his recommendation, he said that, yeah, I'm a big dude, and he'd rather not have to dig through, you know, 6 inches of armor to get to the vein. So, yeah. So, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
he also pointed on something else too, of a double or an extra rib.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I was
that was
up
weird.
On that a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
tell us about that. I don't even know what he's talking about.
These athletic people, sometimes when they're growing as children, they'll get an extra rib. And what happens is that when they're active and everything like that, the vein pushes up against that rib, and that's what causes the clot.
And it damages the vein.
And it damages the vein and all
and
of
then
that stuff.
Because it's damaged, that's where the clot forms, because it's basically like it's like an eddy current in a river.
Yeah.
Like the blood isn't moving smoothly through it, so it starts clotting against the wall.
So, I mean...
Weird.
That might still be something that maybe further down the road, if we ever experience this again, that you might at least want to get an MR or an X-ray. You know, do that thing where they put the weird stuff in, light you up.
I'm pretty sure that they'd know if I had another rib, because I've had X-rays. I've had tons of X-rays in my life.
You had your back X-rayed for scoliosis.
But what I don't understand, what I don't know though is maybe the rib is like a part of one of the other ribs. Maybe what he means is it's like a bone spur coming off a rib or something. I don't really know. I'll have to see what the extra rib thing's about.
You're known for bone spurs.
I am a bone spur king.
You're a cowboy bone.
I got a lot. I'm a cowboy boner. What? I am the king of bone spurs. I have a pretty gnarly one on L4 on my back. So. And
other places too. Don't you have someone somewhere else?
No. They said that they can form in other places, but the only confirmed one I have on my body that was like from MRI is the one on my spine.
Right.
So, but yeah. That was our interesting day, guys. So
we learned a lot, and we ate once today. No, we ate twice today.
We ate twice today.
And it was just I wasn't hungry. I was like so nervous.
I wasn't either. Nerves killed hunger, and I was exhausted because I didn't sleep well because my arm was throbbing. And then they gave me a compression sock thing, like a compression wrap for my arm. And when I put it on there, it makes it feel really, really good. Like finally it relieves, because I've been in constant pain for like the last 6-7 days with my arm, and even more than that with my hand. And so they put this thing on. Oh, it felt so good for a while. But the problem is I can only wear it for like a couple of hours, and then it starts to hurt. And then when I take it off, my entire arm feels bruised. It feels like somebody just kicked the shit out of it. So it's like good for relief of pain for a while, but then I pay for it at the end. So I'm still trying to figure out. But they want me to wear it because she said it'd lower the swelling. And it has, because this morning I couldn't even get my hand this close to my chest, and now I can touch it. Actually, that's new. So... And I couldn't touch, my arm was so swollen I could only bring it to about here this morning, no matter how hard I tried. So I think we're heading in the right direction, guys. So hopefully tomorrow I can get up off my ass and go do a morning coffee, because she said she doesn't want me laying around either.
Me neither.
That's the other thing that they said, is the doctor was like, get up off your ass and do shit. She's like, don't go like, you know, doing strenuous stuff and like lifting heavy stuff and doing stuff like that. But she's like, definitely get up and move around. Yeah.
Like that, but definitely get up and have your daily life.
Yeah, she said, don't be sedentary. Like, get up and move and stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to...
Hide in the remote.
So tomorrow I'm going to be forced out of bed to at least get some shit done, whether it be edit videos or something like that. But
I can't literally kick him out of bed, but I will do my best.
Yeah, you can't move me. I'm a movable object.
No kicking him.
Gravity's on my side. All right, guys. Well, this video's almost at 20 minutes, and I want to try to maybe get some sleep. I'm probably going to have to take an Ambien because I'm afraid to go to sleep, and it's because I'm still in my head about, you know, taking this blood thinner, and just I got this visual of inside my body of this clot busting off and going and doing some bad shit while I sleep. And of course that's scaring me to death about going to sleep, even though the doctor's like, dude, don't fucking worry about it. He's like, blood thinners, we give this shit to everybody every day. Like, you're good. You're good.
It's gonna do what it needs to
it's
do.
going to do what it needs to do. And it didn't sound like it was anything really that, the surgeon was the least worried person out of everybody.
I know.
Everybody we encountered made this seem like I'm going to fucking die tomorrow. And then the surgeons.
Like, rattled everything off like it was yesterday.
Yeah, the surgeon just came out, shit, we see this all the time. Fuck, it's fine, dude, whatever. Just come in here, man. We'll stick you in the ECU and run a probe through you. Fuck, if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. Just take the medicine for 6 months. Whatever, you're fine. So he was like, he kind of put my mind at ease.
Like, so, whatever you choose is going to be fine. Yeah. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, I even asked him, I was like, what would you choose? He's like, I don't care. He's like, no, it's whatever choice you pick is fine. Like, he's like, there's no guarantees.
With
he's
any
like,
of it.
He's like, you're not going to die from it, but he's like, you could take the medicine for 6 months and your vein could still be fucked up. He's like, we don't know until you do it. So he's like, pick whatever you want to do. That's fine.
The only pro for having the catheter put in is that they could kind of see what the vein looks like.
Yeah, we get that for sure.
And then we would also be monitoring to see what it looks like those 3 days.
Correct.
To see if anything was forming again, which would also give them another.
Oh, that's true. He did say that they could see if it formed again, and if it formed again, that gives them more information on, like, how
maybe it's hereditary or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
But nothing to act on. He's like they're not going to do surgery unless I force them to. The dude was like ultimately, you as a patient get to choose, and different doctors will recommend different things. But he said, as a surgeon that's done this, and this is his job, right? He does this. I forget what they called him, but he works on veins. Vascular surgeon. Yeah, I think it was vascular surgeon. But anyways, he said, yeah, he doesn't recommend surgery for these specific things because it's just never successful. He said the success rate on it is so freaking low.
It can be.
And
it can't be.
Yeah, he said that there's really, a few cases where it's successful, but he said with the success rate he's seen with it, with actually surgery.
With others.
Yeah, he's like, I really wouldn't recommend it. He's like, just manage it. And just work with it and do what you can to, like, he didn't really mention physical therapy or anything, but he's like, use it and work it and make sure that it's, it stays. But he doesn't seem to think I'm going to lose my arm. He doesn't seem to think that, suddenly my brain's going to explode or something like that. So I think overall we're going to be okay. I think today was a shitstorm of fear followed by a little bit of relief and a lot of exhaustion. So I figured.
And now the waiting game.
And now we play the waiting game, and I'm still scared because I don't like the prospect of them shoving a fucking metal catheter or a plastic catheter. I don't even know what material it's made out of. But anyways,
probably something soft.
Yeah, it goes in through my wrist, and it follows the vein, all the return line, basically going into my heart.
It was like my art line. Oh my gosh! Yeah. When I had Xander, they stabbed me so many times for this freaking art line, and I'm wondering if that's what it is because I think that's something. They didn't, feed a line up my.
Literally, they're going to be roto-rooting my veins. Mm-hmm. They're going to be sticking a little tiny tube, the size of like probably an 18 gauge needle or whatever, into my vein. Well, I'll feel the prick, but I'm not going to feel it like going through my arm probably.
I felt the prick before, so it'll be fine.
I give you the prick all the time, anyways. Yeah, I'll give you an 18 gauge needle. Nah, mine's at least a 16. Anyways, the little thing that goes through my vein goes all the way up, like through my elbow, up through my shoulder, and up into the clavicle. So it's a long fucking little thing that lives inside of me for 3 days. It's like having a tapeworm in my vein. And then what it does is they have this medicine. They said heparin is the first thing they administer, which is a clotting agent, which is funny. Like, I don't know why they do that. But and then after that, then they use this really hardcore drug that basically dissolves the clot. But the drug has a very small half-life or whatever. It goes in, and it just works for, like, a split second, and then it stops working. That's why they have to get it so close to the clot. Because it doesn't work once it, like, gets dispersed into your blood.
And then it just travels through.
It just travels through and, like, dissipates, your kidneys suck it out or whatever. So they have to get it right next to the clot. And they said that even each day they have to take me back down to the OR, and they have to reposition the catheter to, and check the progress of it and make sure that it's right on it to give it the best chance.
X-ray on it. So that's why they want to make sure, one, it's breaking off, or two, that it's still in the right place if they need to reposition anything, and then go for day 2. Let's all hope, though, that he gets it out and knocks it out in one day.
I hope so. And then also,
he's young, so.
They said they could vacuum the stuff out, too.
Yeah, which is nice. So, if it's not all gone, they can just suck the rest out.
Yeah, they said. Well, they said nice? They said if it looks like pieces are loose and breaking up from it dissolving, instead of just like letting them go through my heart, they would just reverse the catheter and like suck them out like a little vacuum. And so I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, he explained it, and he did explain that they wouldn't recommend this procedure for somebody who isn't healthy,
Right.
or old. And he said that just other than my weight or whatever, he said no, all my stats and my vitals and everything. He said I'm a perfect candidate for this. He said I'm
He has good
healthy.
blood pressure. It's
Yeah,
really
my blood
annoying.
pressure is fantastic. Like I don't have diabetes. My blood pressure is fantastic, and every time I get a physical, the last page says no recommendation to diet or exercise. It's pretty funny, actually. I even laugh at it. But yeah, he said no. He said everything makes me a perfect candidate for this operation. He wouldn't anticipate any problems or any complications. So we'll see what we're gonna do. We're gonna sleep on it. I told her I wouldn't make a decision today though, because
I'm not talking about it today.
Yeah, I
other
went
than
through.
right now.
Yeah, I just wanted you guys to know. But I'm not talking about this shit today. I need a night of sleep
Me too.
between me and this, because this is just a lot of shit. I've been going through a lot of shit over like the last year off and on, but most of it has been like mental and just pain. This is like the first one I think this year that's like scary as shit. Like last year it was the double ear infection. The double
On my
eye
birthday, yes.
Yeah, the double ear infection was like the last big super scare I had. This is the news. So I think each year, each 2 years, about every 2 years, I gotta have some like really, really scary shit happen to me, I guess, to let me know that I'm alive. So that's what I did.
Yay.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Jerry and the Raw, where I didn't talk about technology or anything that you guys probably follow me for in any other place.
Did you talk about anything positive last night? Because
I did. Yeah, last night I was
promised.
positive.
Okay,
I was
good.
promised, and I gave him a positive one. And then it's ironic that the positive one I gave him to let me go to the doctor and making this one. But anyways, I'll make a
This is
positive one
still
tomorrow.
Positive.
It is.
I mean,
I'm gonna live.
We're gonna. Everything's gonna be okay.
Y'all gonna have to put up with me for a long time, because I ain't gonna fucking die from some like little like busted off little
Don't
thing
let
in
a
my
blood
brain.
clot bring you down.
Nah, screw that, man. That blood clot is just an internet troll in my veins. That's all it is.
Ooh, that was a good.
Yeah,
one.
I'm gonna put that on a
Hey,
t-shirt.
T-shirt.
T-shirt opportunity.
Exactly,
Shop.barnerd.com. Get your t-shirt now.
We'll do a little blood clot with like a troll hair.
Oh, a troll clot. Somebody Photoshop me a troll clot, and I'm gonna put that on a
Do
shirt.
it with a staff, please.
And be like, ain't.
Like that. It's gonna be like
Oh,
a
and it'll say,
needle.
"Thou shall not pass."
We got it.
It's gonna be amazing.
Team Jerry.
It's gonna be amazing. Team Jerry.
Team Barnacules.
Turn Team Barnacules. I love you. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna try to calm down and get some sleep. I don't know. I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna take some Ambien and play Forza or something. I don't know. But you're going to sleep. I know
You're
you
gonna
are.
put on headphones, yeah.
Okay, if you say so.
I
If you
do
say so.
because I need sleep.
You need sleep.
We went to bed at
Do you need?
crazy time yesterday.
Do I
and
need to
then
wear you
I woke
out?
up early and then I stressed the whole day. Oh, you know why I haven't been asleep yet? 2 shots of
Yeah, you had 2 shots of Death Wish coffee
Death
today.
Wish. I almost call it Deadpool.
Deadpool coffee.
It's probably just the same.
Sure you
But,
don't need
like,
Big
no
Daddy
wonder.
Barnacules to wear you out before bed? That's a no.
I don't want your clotty germs on me.
You know I'm a clotty. Yeah, you said there was like a 0.4 million chance that the clot might exit my penis at a high velocity. No, it's not gonna
You know what? He told me, he got me in the hallway.
Oh,
and
did he
said,
now?
Yeah, he said no sucking.
I should have.
Sorry.
Oh my God, missed opportunity. I should have asked him if she could suck the clot out.
We'll call him in the morning.
And on that note, I'm going to end this little Jerry and the Raw. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.